Over 6.00 consecutive years and less than 1.00 hour. A drought on non-family one-on-one interactions. Today is Saturday, 18 April 2026. And here I, Tanis of Seattle, reflect on what it has been like to attain a drought on non-family one-on-one interactions over 6.00 consecutive years in duration, for which interactions with non-family members in a one-on-one context have been 1.00 hour or less. So is the number one way to piss me off these days to ask for time speaking to me one-on-one for like an hour or more? That might be a place to apply nunchi, the Korean principle of nunchi. No. Okay. Is this the hardest way to be like me? Tanis Sheeher of Seattle. That's an interesting one. I don't know. Growing up, I would read about or hear about people who were hermits, and they would like live in a cabin in the woods alone, not with anybody else, and they wouldn't let anybody in, and they would only go down to like the store and get supplies or something like that. I was like, well, depending on how long they talked to the person who works at the store, if it was 1.00 hour or more, then they've had more like non-family and non-family member, they'd have more social interactions than I've had. But like that wasn't the spirit of it, and I was like, and it's still something that I've done that I know zero other people who have done. So this is a unique one in that sense. I'd say perhaps part of why the critters and I understand each other so well is that they are truly they feel like humans to me, and they communicate better than a lot of humans I've met in my lifetime. And that I've interacted for sustained periods. So it's been kind of transformative in that sense of like just like the meaning of interactions, and how like me interacting with a living organism, or like, you know, a little rufous-sided towhee or dark-eyed juncos or chickadees, and like I can actually have a conversation with them now, like for real, and I get like it can be fun conversations, and like they've got big personalities and stuff. So it's been transformative to me. And so I have a few things. Has this been pivotal in defining a self sense for what it might be like for me to serve a prison sentence or military sentence? So yeah, I brought these up recently, and I'm like, well, does it come, like, do those projects in part come with like my own internal transformation? So I went from not thinking I could survive in each of those contexts to I could survive solo / with my heavily self-experimented on heart. Yes. So like either I'm solo in a certain context and I could survive, which I think legitimately questioned, not even just last decade, in the 2010s decade. There's also the like, I think that one, I questioned the one that I was like, that would be like in such growth for myself as a human being if I could do this. And to be like, I could survive and encapsulate what it means to be solo, because I have lived experience not interacting with other people, which I have now for over 6.00 consecutive years. All right. Like a family, in a family capacity. And I was like, to actually have like the heft and the know-how and that kind of thing, and just basic like my own body's functioning of I could survive in the spirit of being solo while also being in a context surrounded by people, like a dining hall in a prison or out on the battlefield and the military. And I'm like, that perhaps it's like taking that heart of this solo journey I've been on and really like, but I could do it, and I have the heart for it to like believe in my own ability to survive even with others around. So that's been very, very cool. I had two others, or I went from a bitter PhD in geophysics quitter to a multiple graduate degrees in English dreamer. That one's a really recent, though technically me at playlist level with the military service and prison settings one recent as well. And I took the business of ridding my YouTube channel of external influence seriously. Yeah, there's a business model here. And so like, you know, somebody, family or not, coming along being like, I want you to remove videos because I don't like them. you know, and like texting me if I'm in bed, and like I'm not even fully dressed for the day. It's just like, not everybody's capable of thinking before they act, so I'll be the adult in the situation. It's not your channel. Right. So how do I handle people who are deficient in cognitive abilities? But like just realizing like some people won't ever develop basic communication abilities, right? And they're certainly not willing to try and put effort in there. Right, so being like my own self-improvement, also applying that to the interactions that I do have, no matter the duration. And so I think in that sense, like it's been really important to just like valuing whatever amount of time I have with others. I think moving in with my soulmates, that would be quite interesting, right? To go from like, you know, somebody knocks at the door, so to speak, and like we move me in, and like that, you know, if it like day one we spend like 8 hours together, I go from, you know, this over 6.00 consecutive year drought just ends like in a day, in an hour, you know, in 1.01 hour. So it's like, do it while it's live, do it while the drought is still active. So I did, filming the video, if nothing else. So that's on over 6.00 consecutive years and less than 1.00 hour, a drought on non-family one-on-one interaction.